Hey there. I have a quick story from you from early on in my transition. I have to be at a Smash tournament. I have to be at a Smash tournament. I must be there in like half an hour. I will be destroyed on the spot if I don't go. No, but so it's going to be quick. But just a quick little story from early in my transition. It's the story of how I got my first bra. And I think for any of the dolls that might be watching, you might have some similar stories, and I'd love to hear your your experiences in the comments down below. Hello, hint, hint. But anyway, so it was 2024, like August. I was in a weird situation where I was out in public, but not at home, which is really weird because most people have it the other way around. But anyway, that was my situation. That's another story for another time. But, I was on HRT already. It was getting a little bit hard to hide things. In fact, you could say I started to feel a little indecent going out and just having my shirt covering. I mean, there wasn't much going on. There still isn't much going on per se, but it was noticeable. So I had to go and get a bra. So I called up a friend. I'll keep him anonymous. I don't know if he wants to. He probably doesn't care, but I'll keep it anonymous. So my friend, I was like, "Hey, do you want to go to the mall?" And he's like, "Sure." I was like, "I can drive." He's like, "Sure." So we go to the mall and we're walking around for like 40 minutes and then, hanging out, whatever, probably a little longer, exploring some stores. He's like, "All right, I'm about done. Is there any other store you want to go to?" And I'm like, "Yes. Yes, there's another store I want to go to." So we end up stopping in front of La Vie en Rose, an underwear store, of course. And I was like, well, actually, I did have a bit of an agenda to bring you here. I need some help. I need some moral support. And he's just like, "This is why you invited me, isn't it? You just needed somebody." And I was like, "Yeah, no shame. Sometimes you need a friend to help you out." So we go inside the store, and I'm quaking in my boots. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I had spent the night before, like looking up guides on Reddit and stuff like that, and like measuring myself to try and get like, oh, what's the right size? What's my band size? I I don't. I might have it on my phone. I don't know. I think I had made a note of it. I might have deleted the note of what I thought my measured size was. Anyway, we don't need to talk about that detail. But the point is, I was like freaking out about it all night, trying to figure out, I want to go in and go out ASAP, super fast. I just want to get this thing to get some support because, I felt like I was showing a little bit too much, even with not much going on. Early HRT, I was like 5 months in. I don't know, maybe not even. April, May, June, July. Yeah, 5 months. So we go into the store. I'm shaking in my boots, quaking in my boots, like I said, and I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know, I don't know what to do. And so my friend walks up to an employee and gets her attention, and then points at me and says, "My friend here needs help." And then I was like, "Well, I'm in it now." So I kind of explained, "Well, I'm here to buy a bra, and I've never bought one before, and I have to bless this employee. I have to say, bless this employee. I'm personally blessing this employee." She got a very serious look on her face, like a kind of almost like a grave look, but she like it clicked immediately, like what was going on, and like I didn't have any voice training. I don't know that I was in women's clothes per se. Like I was just there. Um, yeah, and she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna help you." So we go to the change rooms, and long story short, I don't know what I want. Like I suggest the sizes that I measured based as like a kind of a starting point, but they didn't really work. I think what I had suggested was like either too big or too small, one way or the other. What ends up happening is over the course of an hour, like the entire staff team, it's like 7 people, end up like going back and forth between each other and with me, like running around the store, coming to the change room door, saying, "How about this one? How about this one? How about this one?" And it was like pandemonium. Like they had a shift change. Like at some point, the manager, I think she was the manager, showed up and she was like super cool and like super on top of it. But then she had to go for her lunch break, so she's like, "Hey, I'm signing off for a sec. Can you cover this customer?" And like to another employee, and like literally like seven different people were helping me and like going back and forth and grabbing me new things, and nothing fit, and I didn't know how to put them on to begin with. I was like, how do you close this? And I'm just like freaking out. I'm sweating. I'm shaking. I'm like, well, everyone in this store knows what's going on. Like it, but that also was like really encouraging too, because all of them were taking me super seriously and they were like just there. So like I guess the point is eventually I found one that fit. I still have it. I don't know if I can show that on screen, but it's a beige basic kind of bra that ended up fitting. Like the cups were a little too big because of course they are, but you know, it fit. It was the best fitting one overall. I still have it. I don't wear it very often, but you know, it's all good. And like the biggest thing that just stuck out to me is just like the camaraderie. Like all these women came together and they saw me. They saw a sister and they were like, "We got to get this girl her bra." And it was just a really cool feeling and a really special feeling that so many people came together, you know, dropped everything, no questions asked. Well, they asked me a lot of questions about like, that does this fit? How's this one? What do you think about the color? You know, whatever. But like no questions about like what I was doing or anything. It was like a super affirming experience. And I remember even like at the cash register, I finally have this bra that finally fit enough. And I'm like, I'm not sure. Maybe the band size needs to be a little bit bigger. I'm a little broader, as it were. And then, like, the cashier, she was super sweet. And she was like, okay, you know, you can check out these extenders here. You can attach them to any bra. Like, you can extend it. Like, it works like this. She showed me. So I got those two. And, like, I needed one. So it worked perfect. And it's just like, long story short, you know, sometimes there's good people out there. I'm, of course, very fortunate to live in a pretty let's say, I don't know what the word would be, accepting place, I guess. But it was just such a cool feeling to have this kind of camaraderie, this sisterhood from all these strangers, really, who just saw someone in need, saw a sister. I felt like a sister. I felt like I was part of the family, and they did everything they could to help me, and I was so grateful. I was in the change room for over an hour. I remember when I came out of the change room, I see my friend sitting on a couch. They just had like a couch in the middle of the store, and he's just reading, and I'm like, I'm so sorry that this took so long. And he's like, well, I made good progress in this book. I'm glad I brought it. He had a backpack and he just brought books with him. Like he just was ready. He didn't even know this going in that we were going to be doing this, but it's like, he was ready. I'm grateful for that too. I'm grateful for the support, because you know what? Sometimes when you got to do something hard, you just got to bring someone with you that's just going to kick you in the ass and just like point at an employee. They're just going to point at an employee and say, my friend needs help. And then that gets the ball rolling. Like sometimes it's hard to do it yourself. He was actually surprised I even walked into the store. He's like, oh, I kind of thought you weren't going to do it. And I was like, of course I was going to do it. I brought you out here. Low key, I wasn't going to do it, but I did. And I'm proud of myself. And I'm grateful that I got some amazing help. But yeah, that's just a little tidbit, a little quick story about how I got my first bra as an early in transition person, early transition girl, T-girl. I don't know. I'm finding the right words here. Um, like I said, let me know if you have any other similar kind of stories, or what like your experience getting your first like first bra, first time bra shopping. It's a scary thing, but it's also pretty special too. It was special for me anyway, and I think there's a lot of possible ways it could go, and I'm really grateful with the way mine went. So let me know what you think. Let me know about your experiences, and I'll see you next time. Bye.